Berlin, the capital of Germany and the country's largest city, is also a major center of politics, culture, media, and science. Noted for its cultural flair, Berlin is home to the world-famous Berlin Opera and Berlin Philharmonic Orchestra, while its diverse art scene encompasses hundreds of galleries, events, and museums, including those on Museum Island, a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Despite the devastation of World War II and following decades of decay to the east of the infamous Berlin Wall, the city has been rebuilt in a way that celebrates its successes while acknowledging a dark past. Today, Berlin has earned a reputation as something of a youthful, hip tourist destination that offers an eclectic mix of new and classic architecture, dynamic entertainment, shopping, and a wide variety of sports and cultural institutions and art galleries. Whatever your interests, to help you get the most out of your sightseeing adventures, in this video we're going to be taking a look at the top-rated tourist attractions in Berlin. And just wait till you see what's at number 3 that we're going to be showing in this video, something you would not even have thought of, so make sure you watch till the end. Before we begin, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more awesome travel guides, and make sure you hit the notification bell so that you know when we publish a new video. So let's cut to the chase. At 10. Jewish Museum, Berlin. Designed by architect Daniel Libeskind, the Jewish Museum Berlin, Jüdisches Museum Berlin, features a distinctive zinc-paneled exterior that makes it one of Berlin's most striking landmarks. It was established in 2001, and inside visitors will find a wide range of historical artifacts and donated collections that illustrate the long history and struggle of Jewish Germans from the Middle Ages to the present. Exhibits include artwork, religious objects, and 24,000 photographs that have been preserved and recovered. Especially poignant is the Memory Void, where you'll find an installation called Schaleket, or Fallen Leaves, a collection of some 10,000 iron faces spread across the ground. Sobering to say the least. The museum is also home to an extensive library and archives at the Academy of the Jewish Museum Berlin, where there are frequent educational programs. Museum galleries include sections dedicated to Hanukkah, anti-Semitism, Middle East conflict, the history and culture of Jerusalem, and the life of Munich Rabbi Leo Bayerwald. Next up, at 9, Gendarmenmarkt. The Gendarmenmarkt, one of Berlin's largest squares, is dominated by 3 historic landmark buildings: the Konzerthaus, the French Cathedral, and the German Cathedral. This picturesque 17th century square is now one of Berlin's top tourist attractions and hosts numerous public events each year, including classical concerts on the steps of the Konzerthaus Theatre in the summer. Come winter, the entire plaza becomes the city's famous Christmas market. What else? The Konzerthaus, built in 1821, is as famous for its architectural splendor as it is for the first-rate performances of Konzerthaus Orchestra Berlin, one of the country's most popular symphony orchestras. In front of the building stands a statue of the German poet Friedrich Schiller, surrounded by 4 female figures who represent the artistic elements of lyric poetry, drama, history, and philosophy. Nice. The cathedrals are so named for their domes. Dom is also the German word for cathedral, and are in fact not churches. The French cathedral is home to the Huguenot Museum, and the German cathedral exhibits the history of the German parliament. Another well-known square in Berlin, Alexanderplatz, was the center of East Berlin life and is now home to the World Time Clock, a popular meeting place. Nearby is the television tower, nicknamed Telespagel, with panoramic views of the city. Next up at 8, Charlottenburg Palace and Park. Berlin's oldest and largest Prussian estate, the late 17th century Charlottenburg Palace, was for decades the primary residence of German royalty. Now beautifully restored, this huge palace has many extraordinary features, including a massive 50-meter high central dome, opulent Baroque and Rococo decor throughout its expansive rooms, and a large garden that was inspired by the gardens at Versailles. A highlight of the property's tour program is a visit to the new wing, with its state apartments and fine banqueting halls. Built in 1746, it's here visitors get a glimpse of the splendor in which the Prussian kings and electors lived, from Frederick I's bedroom and study with their fine furnishings and paintings, to the state dining room and 42-meter-long golden gallery with its rich, gilded stucco. Over in the Old Palace is the Porcelain Cabinet, a room dedicated to a large historic porcelain collection and special exhibits, including the crown jewels and other royal items. Other highlights are the Palace Park, dating from 1697 and home to the new pavilion, Neue Pavilion, built in 1788 in the style of a Neapolitan villa, and the Belvedere Tea House with its fine collection of Berlin porcelain. Be sure to visit the mausoleum with its royal tombs, as well as the grand courtyard with its large statue of the great Elector, Frederick William of Brandenburg. One of the top things to do in Berlin in winter is visit the Charlottenburg Palace Christmas Market. What else? A spectacular display of more than 250 vendors and artisans exhibiting seasonal wares. Next up at 7, Checkpoint Charlie Museum. Also of interest is the Checkpoint Charlie Museum, making the best-known crossing point between East and West Berlin. This fascinating tourist attraction features numerous displays and artifacts tracing the history of human rights, along with exhibits dealing specifically with the history of the Berlin Wall and Checkpoint Charlie. Situated next to the original guardhouse, the museum also highlights some of the most interesting attempts made by those trying to escape communist rule. These include an original homemade air balloon used in one successful attempt. Also of interest is the nearby open-air black box Cold War exhibit, which features sections of the Berlin Wall and related information stations. And now at 6, Berliner Fernsehturm, Berlin's television tower. Despite its age, it celebrated its 50th anniversary in 2020. The 368-meter-tall Berliner Fernsehturm, Berlin Television Tower, has lost none of its appeal to visitors to the city. Since opening in 1970, Europe's third tallest freestanding structure has attracted over 60 million visitors, most of them drawn for the spectacular views over Germany's capital. Originally constructed to mark the prowess of communism, it's located in the former East Berlin district. The landmark can be picked out from pretty much every corner of the city, making it more significant as a symbol of the city's reunification in the 1980s. Be sure to include the structure's observation deck in your visit, and if you're able to linger a while, book a reservation at the 207-meter-high revolving restaurant. At 5, German Historical Museum. Established to mark Berlin's 750th anniversary in 1987, the German Historical Museum is a must-visit for those interested in learning more about the city's remarkably rich history. This much-visited attraction consists of a number of historic exhibition halls jam-packed with fascinating displays of artifacts relating to various periods and events from the country's founding right up to the fall of the Berlin Wall. Other highlights include exhibits relating to medicine, fashion, religion, printing, art and photography. Military buffs are also well catered to, with the museum's vast collection of historic armour, weapons and uniforms. There's also a cinema located on site and a research library that's open to the public. English language guided tours are available, and for those expecting a longer stay, you'll want to because there's that much to see. There's a handy cloakroom and cafe. And now at 4, my favourite, the Berlin Wall Memorial. The Berlin Wall originated in 1961 when East Germany sealed off that half of the city to prevent citizens from fleeing to West Germany. By the time it was torn down in 1989, the 4-metre-high wall extended 155 kilometres, dissected 55 streets and possessed 293 observation towers and 57 bunkers. Today, only small stretches of this graffiti-covered travesty remain, including a 1.4-kilometre stretch preserved as part of the Berlin Wall Memorial. It stands as a chilling reminder of the animosity that once divided Europe. Highlights of a visit include the Marienfelde Refugee Center Museum, with its exhibits relating to the 1.5 million people who passed through Berlin as refugees, the Gunter Litvin Memorial, a former watchtower now set up as a memorial which pays tribute to the first civilian killed trying to cross from east to west, and the monument in memory of the divided city and the victims of communist tyranny. Be sure to also check out the Window of Remembrance and the Visitor Centre with views over the remains of the wall. Guided tours are available in English. And now at 3, Museum Island. Sandwiched between the River Spree and the Kupfergraben in a 400-metre-long canal, Spree Island, better known as Museum Island, is one of the city's most important UNESCO World Heritage Sites. Here you'll find many of the city's oldest and most important museums, including the Old Museum, built in 1830 to house the crown jewels and other royal treasures. The new museum, destroyed during World War II, was rebuilt and opened again in 2009. It serves as a home of extensive collections from the Egyptian Museum, the Papyrus Collection, and the collection of classical antiquities. The Old National Gallery, opened in 1876, displays neoclassical sculpture and paintings from 1815 to 1848, as well as Impressionist and early modernist pieces. The Bode Museum houses a collection of Byzantine art, as well as a large sculpture collection spanning from medieval times to the late 1700s. The city's most popular museum, the Pergamon, features a museum of Islamic art, the Ishtar Gate, and reconstructed historic buildings from the Middle East. The newest museum attraction, the Humboldt Forum, opened here in 2019 and houses the Ethnological Museum of Berlin and the Museum of Asian Art. And now, Act 2, the Rebuilt Reichstag. The Reichstag was originally completed in 1894, where the Neo-Renaissance palace served as the home of the German Empire's imperial diet until it burned in 1933. It was not used again until after the reunification of Germany, at which point it underwent a 10-year reconstruction and finally became the home of the German Parliament in 1999. A highlight of this magnificent reconstruction is the replacement dome, the Kuppel. Made of glass, it offers superb views of the surrounding city, especially at night from the rooftop restaurant. If visiting in the summer months, be sure to check into the schedule of light shows and film nights for a memorable Berlin experience. Note that entry to the dome and terrace is ticketed, and due to demand, it's recommended that tickets be requested in advance. While registration is available on the day, you should expect a 2 or 3 hour wait. Free English language audio guides are available. And finally, at number 1, the Brandenburg Gate. Berlin's most famous historic landmark is undoubtedly the Brandenburg Gate. Once a symbol of a divided nation, it now stands as a symbol of unity and peace. This impressively large neoclassical gate was commissioned by King Frederick Wilhelm II in 1788, and its design was inspired by the Propylaea in Athens' Acropolis. The sandstone monument is 26 meters tall, standing in the Mitte district's Pariser Platz, just a block from the Reichstag building. During the Cold War, its physical and symbolic position as a blocked gate along the Berlin Wall made it a frequent site for demonstrations by West Berliners. It's also famous for being the backdrop of US President Ronald Reagan's 1987 entreaty to Soviet leader Mikhail Gorbachev to tear down the wall. It was also the scene of a poignant gesture in 1999 when political leaders from a variety of countries, including then Germany's Angela Merkel, Russia's Mikhail Gorbachev, and Poland's Lech Walesa, together walked through the gate to commemorate the tearing down of the Berlin Wall 10 years earlier. Visiting the Brandenburg Gate at night is a special treat and undoubtedly one of the top 3 things to do in Berlin. And there you have the top 10 rated tourist attractions in Berlin. Did you like what you saw? Let us know in the comments down below. Share this video with your friends and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more fantastic travel guides. See you next time.